am absolutely delighted to be joined by Manchester United legend Ryan Giggs. 34 trophies over 23. So we're going to get to that in a moment, but let's start at the beginning of your career. And I don't know if many people actually know that you started in the blue half of Manchester.
I was with City.
And I know you grew up around a lot of rugby as well, didn't you, being in Wales as well? So what made you choose football over rugby?
Yeah, I first love.
When you say football was your first love, who were your sort of role models growing up? Were there any particular players that you looked up to?
I always like.
And you talk about joining Manchester United officially at 14. What happened on your 14th birthday? Tell us.
My house.
That's amazing. Did you obviously knew he was set to come to your house?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a, oh, hello, I'm
no,
here.
it wasn't a surprise. No, it was...
And I guess when you look at footballers, even now in this day and age, the manager is such an important part of their life, not just their playing career, because you're with that manager from such a young age. So your relationship with him really developed, and he
took football things.
That's really nice. So let's talk about your first call-up, your first debut for Manchester United. What was that like? What was the feeling like?
For Manchester United.
And I guess from that moment, you knew you were playing for a huge club, and that was very apparent in those days, wasn't it?
The first team.
In 963 games, you won everything you could possibly win domestically. That is an incredible achievement. Do you look back at that and think, did you ever think you would hit those heights? What was so special about that group of players that went on to win multiple titles and just dominated football?
I think training. And like I said, you never took anything for granted. You know, you had players who wanted your place, because I've been there. You know, I wanted Sharpie's place, and then you're always constantly looking over your shoulder. And every day you would train to a high standard, because you knew that if you didn't, you'd be out.
And I guess you also had a number of characters in the dressing room, and that's important.
You don't take anything for granted.
So whilst it was hard work, you needed the discipline, the determination, the stamina, all of the focus to carry on and continue to keep winning titles. You must have had your fun moments as well along the way. Any you can share with us?
And it was hanging up from the ceiling. You know, trainers, dodgy shirts, and you would think, you know, you would wake up and I look good today, and then coming from training, the lads have hammered you, and you think, oh no. But
being one of the most sought after players in the world, what made you stick with United? And that's really interesting, because in an era now where players don't really stick with a club for too long. It's sort of changed, hasn't it now? It's incredible, because there was interest from Spain, Germany, Italy, and from all over for you, but you just wanted to stay at United.
Yeah.
So what was that transition like for you then, when your career as a player came to a close and you sort of closed that chapter and then ventured into the world of assistant managing for Man United? And talking of that coaching career, now you're the manager of Wales. How have you brought in to your management style what you learnt from Sir Alex Ferguson and your playing days at Manchester United?
To football.
There is one thing that you've learnt as a player, as a manager, or just throughout your career that you could pass on to the next generation coming through. What would it be?
Well, never take...
That's great advice. On a final note, if you could sum up Ryan Giggs in 3 words, which 3 words would they be? Ryan, it's now time to talk cricket. Cricket fan?
I am, yeah.
Favourite cricketer of all time?
Fave.
Yeah, brilliant. And did you grow up watching cricket?
Cricket fan.
So if I was to ask you, Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar? Oh, it's a tough one. I'm mean, I know.
Separate them two.
Good answer. I think that was a good answer. So who is your favourite cricketer now? I know you said Viv Richards, but what about now when you're watching the game? Is there anyone that stands out for you that you admire, that you enjoy watching?
Chris Gale as well.
Brilliant. If you were a cricketer, would you be a batsman or a bowler?
I think I'd be getting bouncers in. I wouldn't fancy facing, 90 miles an hour cricket ball.
Thanks, Ryan.
Cheers.